Yeah, so you knew you want to go into diplomacy as a young man in his 20s, and you knew that this is your career path. So what did you foresee the outcome of that decision being?
Well, let's say that the motivation of this, it's I would say an intellectual curiosity to know other peoples, to know other cultures, and to know other countries. And I think, as I also told in my speech the 2nd June at the celebration, I think that knowledge is the key to eliminate prejudice, to eliminate fear, and sometimes even violence. So I am sure that if we really know the so-called others, and when we know them, we realize that we are all the same.
Yes.
And we have the same feelings, the same problems, same expectations in life. We just want to live having our families, and we don't know why we're here. Of course, that's the main point. I would say, I would underline, in the sense that philosophies, religions have tried to give many explanations of the mystery of life. I am so happy to know countries, people, cultures, not like a tourist. No. Because of course you can make a trip and you spend a week somewhere. It's different. Living some years in a place, if you have this curiosity, of course, is something enriching and which makes you grow from the cultural and spiritual point of view.
Yeah, and I like what you said, because when all is said and done, and with or without travel, we are really all we are all the same person. We are similar in so many ways, and just latching on to that, you being in diplomacy. So what were the initial stages like? So you've passed the exams. It was difficult to get into, you know, into that industry, or rather into that office, the foreign affairs, back in Italy. So what were the beginnings like? Because people looking at you as an ambassador now should be able to know and understand that your first assignment was not an ambassador.
No.
Yeah.
It was not.
Yeah. Yeah. So what were those beginnings? What kind of experiences did you have starting out?
In our career, first of all, in Italy, we all are career diplomats. Because you know that in many countries there are career diplomats, but also political appointed diplomats or ambassadors. We all enter with a difficult test, and we all, to arrive as ambassador, we spend a lot of years in different kind of responsibilities. And so I started in Ecuador, Quito, and I was number 2 in the embassy. So even a young diplomat, of course, has the responsibility of managing an embassy, because when the ambassador is not there, you are in charge. So this is something forming, which helped to understand how to manage an office abroad. Yeah. And we cover all the aspects of like culture, political ones, commercial, cultural, and consular aspects. And so this is something which gives you the skills one day when you will be ambassador, to know how to manage and how to advise your collaborators. And if you live abroad and you want to know, you discover not only what appears, but you can analyze and know the deep forces of the society which makes history after that. The decision, what happened in the history of a people. This is so charming for me. Yeah. And in Ecuador, for instance, they have the so-called cosmogony, which is their philosophy of the respect of nature. That's charming. That's very interesting to study, for instance. After Ecuador, I went to Finland. Okay. So quite a change, because from a climate point of view, from a cultural point of view, different religions. I mean, they are Christian, but very Catholic in Ecuador, Protestant in Finland, and so you start knowing differences to understand many things that I mean, studying on the books and living in these countries, this place, these cultures help you to have an idea of the world. And this is the most beautiful part of my job.
Yes. So when you're leaving your country, the country that you're serving, so you're leaving Italy to go and serve and represent the interests of Italy in different nations. What are the things you're told not to do?
Of course, you have not to to say things that can offend another country, another people, and there is no reason to.
Yeah.
But what we can do, we should do, is to promote bilateral relations in terms of, again, reciprocal knowledge, reciprocal trust, reciprocal support. And for instance, Italy and Kenya, we work together. We have a lot of things in common. Democratic countries, very engaged in multilateral aspects, in favor of dialogue, peace, and friendship. So this is something that helps the work of a diplomat. In Kenya, for instance, we had last March a very important historical visit of our President of the Republic. What was important is that he decided to come to Kenya. It was a visit highest level, because the state visit is high level, and there was quite a symphony with President Ruto, and it has been a good moment. And for a diplomat, of course, it's like a boost of relations. So we signed many agreements, and we are working after that. We are going on easily.
Yeah.